You know that feeling, right? You open a utility bill and just that little shock, that how did it get this high again moment. Well, you're definitely not alone. Those rising costs are a real squeeze, for sure, but they're not something you just have to accept. Okay, let's dive into this, because today we're going to lay out a clear, practical roadmap to take back control and start slashing those bills for good. So here's our game plan. We're going to break it down into 5 simple parts. First, we need to understand the problem. What's causing that bill shock? Then we'll talk about the most important first step you can take. From there, we'll get into the big stuff, the high-impact upgrades that save you the most money. Then we'll cover the easy wins you can get from daily habits. And finally, we'll uncover some hidden financial help that you probably don't even know exists.
All right, so first things first. Before you can fix a problem, you really gotta understand it. So let's pull back the curtain on this unseen squeeze that's been happening to our wallets.
Yeah, it's the question we all ask ourselves when we see that number just creep up and up month after month. It feels relentless, right? But believe it or not, there are some really concrete reasons behind it. And here's the good news, they're not all outside of your control. It really boils down to a mix of 3 things. You got the huge, big picture stuff, like what's happening in global energy markets or the cost of just keeping the power grid running. We can't do much about that. But then there's that third piece, our own household habits. Things like old, inefficient appliances and energy that's just wasted. And that is where we get to fight back. So where do we even begin with the single most important action you can take? Think of this as the blueprint for all your future savings. It's your foundational first step, the home energy audit. An energy audit is basically a checkup for your home, you know? It's the diagnosis before you start prescribing solutions. Instead of just guessing where you might be losing money, an audit pinpoints the exact culprits, whether it's a drafty window, bad insulation, or that old freezer in the garage. And the results can be pretty immediate. Just by acting on what you find, most households save between $15 and $50 every single month. I mean, do the math. That could be up to $600 back in your pocket each year, all from just getting smart about where your energy is going. And you don't need to be a pro to do this. You can do a simple DIY audit this weekend. Just walk around and literally feel for drafts by your windows and doors. Pop your head up into the attic and see what the insulation looks like. Pull out your last few bills, see any weird spikes, and start hunting for those electronics that are sipping power even when they're turned off. Okay, once your audit gives you that roadmap showing exactly where the energy is escaping, you can stop guessing. Now you can focus your effort and your money where it's going to have the biggest possible impact. Wow. Okay, this chart right here pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Just look at that. Nearly half of a typical home's energy bill goes to just 2 things, heating and cooling. If you want to make a serious dent in your costs, that is the place to start. And the potential here is absolutely huge. By making your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, your HVAC, more efficient, you can save anywhere from $25 to $75 a month. That is, by far, the single biggest saving you can find in your home. So how do you get there? Well, it's a mix of some smart tech and some pretty simple fixes. A smart thermostat is a game changer. It just learns your routine and saves money for you. Some cheap weather stripping can seal up those drafts you found, and making sure your insulation is in good shape means your whole system just doesn't have to work as hard. So after heating and cooling, appliances are next on the hit list. And this table is a perfect example of why. That old refrigerator humming away in the kitchen, it's an energy hog. A new Energy Star model uses up to 20% less power, saving you over $10 a month, and a lot of the time you can even get a cash rebate for buying it. And hey, that's just the fridge. Once you start upgrading other old appliances like your washer, dryer, or dishwasher, the total monthly savings can climb as high as $60. It's one of those long-term investments that really does pay for itself. Now, big upgrades are awesome for homeowners, but what if you're renting or you're just on a tight budget? This next section is for you. This is all about how small, consistent changes in our daily routines can add up to some really big savings. Let's start with water. Seriously, just by fixing small leaks, putting in a low-flow shower head, and washing your laundry in cold water instead of hot, you can save between $15 and $40 a month. And remember, when you save hot water, you're saving on your water bill and the energy it took to heat it. It's a total double win. Next up, let's hunt down your home's hidden energy vampires. Phantom load. It's all those devices that are plugged in and quietly sucking power 24/7, even when you think they're off. We're talking about your TV, your game console, all those phone chargers. Believe it or not, they can account for up to 10% of your entire electricity bill.
So, the way you fight these energy vampires is with smart habits and some smart tech. Switching to energy efficient LED bulbs, that's a total no brainer. But the real secret weapon is using smart power strips. They automatically cut power to devices when they're not in use, saving you another $10 to $30 every single month.
Okay, for our final section, we are revealing a secret weapon that way too few people even know about. There are programs out there designed specifically to help you lower your bills, and it is time to start using them. From federal programs like LEHEAP to local assistance, there's a whole ecosystem of support. Your own utility company probably offers rebates, free energy-saving kits, and budget billing plans to help even out those crazy seasonal spikes. And please, don't just assume you don't qualify. A lot of these are designed for working families. The impact here can be, well, transformative. For households that really tap into these resources, the savings can range from $30 to over $100 a month. This isn't about cutting back. It's about accessing the support that is already waiting for you. So let's just put it all together. Take a look at these numbers. Each one of these strategies offers real savings on its own. But the real power, the magic, is when you start stacking them. By combining just a few of these tactics, a typical family can easily free up over $100 a month. That is real money that can go towards savings, paying down debt, or just giving you some breathing room. So the crucial takeaway here is that taking control of your utility bills is not about one magic bullet. It's about a series of smart, deliberate choices, starting today. The power is completely in your hands. So the only question left is, what's your first move going to be?